So you have to go into this with some sort of a rational view of who is my subject matter. But this is where it gets ethical, Todd. I'd love to hear your take on this, by the way. I don't think that you should ever ethically prove something to a group of people that is going to be either not harmed by the proof of it, but that's not going to benefit their lives. So this is where it gets really tricky, where I don't think you should sell everything to everyone. You should be sell very specifically. So just because something is correct doesn't mean it's beneficial at the moment for people. So that's where it gets a little tricky. Love to hear your thoughts.
I completely agree with you. I think that's a personal, moral, ethical issue.
I think that's an evolved version of John Benson and Todd Brown. I think 30-year-old versions of you guys, 35, wherever, when you got to bring the cash in, you'd have wrote whatever you had to write to get the sale on the table in the beginning.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's not saying it's right, but like that's the place where a lot of copywriters were in, including myself. I had no cell phone, no car, no nothing. I needed to make money, and Tony was writing sales letters for, I won't say
I ran away from that business.
But it was paying the bills right away, Mike. So it's like sometimes you have to be able to do that. And I was in the
car business. The car business, we
did it.
Yeah, and I ran away from it, hating it at the end of it.
Donnie, I just want to address one thing that you said, because I agree wholeheartedly with what John said, and I think
and I do too now.
Today, I was just going to say today, I would say that there is never a time that, I would hope that there would never be a time going forward for me, if God forbid I needed the money, that I would revert to doing and saying, whatever. I agree wholeheartedly with John.
Yes, and I think that is a fundamental shift of beliefs that we can, I think that direct response marketing and affiliate marketing, I think, have a bad rap in a lot of communities, because people see it similar to selling drugs on the street. You come in, you get a quick skill, you get your stash, and you cut it up and you go make money, right? I learned through all those years that if you took that same person who had the ability to go sell drugs on the street and make money at any time, if you put that same skill set into just doing a legitimate business, any type of legitimate business, they would have made it and been able to stick around and do it. It's the same thing in copy.
Johnny, you just described the metaphor of a weapon, right?
Yeah.
You put the weapon in a good person's hand or a bad person's hand, whether it's a nuclear weapon or a gun, it's a weapon.
Persuasion is a weapon.
Total weapon.
Yeah, it is a weapon. But if I can make one thing, even when I was younger, in definitely certainly not financially very well off, I never sold anything that I knew was an absolute, at least not that I'm aware of, that I knew was an absolute farce. I throw out something like, for example, I mean, nothing against, not trying to bash someone that we both know, but if I had a book called, 100 miracles that the scientific community will never want you to know, and it's like drink lemon water and your cancer goes away, I'd never sell it. I'd never do that. And we both know people who have done exactly that have done things. But some of those people, now this is where it gets really tricky, some of those people actually believed some of the things.
That's the whole thing.
So I mean, I'm going to take something that's obviously very innocuous, but to me, the greatest copywriter in copywriting history is still Gary Benzavenga. That's
Gary.
My personal favorite, because Gary just has a way of just writing that has always captured me, and also one of the nicest guys in the world. He's a big fan of olive oil. Okay. So if it came out that tomorrow that olive oil, out of 1,000 meta reviews, would turn out to be the worst thing that you could take for heart disease, I wouldn't blame Gary, because there's no way he would have known that at the time, right? But if you knew that at the time and you're trying to sell it anyway, this is where, I've slammed the brakes on that, on everything. But one could make the argument that when I wrote for the seduction world, when I wrote some of the letters for that was a breach of ethics. But my take on it was no, I'm just actually teaching guys that don't know how to approach women, not to sleep with as many women as they want, but to break through that wall so they can actually meet somebody. My whole thing was, and every single one of my letters was look, my personal goal is to meet the woman of my dreams. I don't want to be a swinging bachelor my entire life.
The Wicked Smart Podcast. We're going live, baby. truth.